Hey guys, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Gonna read through pretty much the full article. There's a link in the description should you wish to go through that. This is another case of Munchausen's by proxy, in which a mother essentially lied about the illness of her 8-year-old son, and he went under several medical procedures, including having his appendix removed. Just to let you know, he is okay. He was taken away. The article will tell us that he's taken away by Child Services, CPS, or what have you, in 2019, and has been doing well. So he's no longer victim to his mother, but we shall read through the majority of this article. A Pennsylvania mother has been accused of forcing her 8-year-old son to undergo a string of unnecessary and invasive medical procedures, including surgeries, in a suspected Munchausen's by proxy case. Christine Maxwell, 48 years of age, from Inola, has been charged with aggravated assault, simple assault, endangering the welfare of children, and theft by deception. According to court filings, police in East Pennsboro Township launched an investigation into Christine Maxwell back in September 2019 after receiving a report from a social worker about a caregiver suspected of child abuse due to Munchausen's by proxy, also known as caregiver fabricated illness. Maxwell's son, who was 8 at the time, was quoted in a probable cause affidavit as telling investigators, "My mom tells me when I'm sick." There's the mother, who I'm going to tell her that she's sick. Maxwell was arrested in November 2021, but police only announced charges against her on Tuesday. According to the affidavit cited by PennLive.com, by the time a child services caseworker raised the alarm about Maxwell's alleged conduct, her son had undergone multiple EKGs and echoes, ECHOs, surgeries to remove his appendix and adenoids, a colonoscopy, a skin biopsy, a bronchoscopy, a gastrointestinal endoscopy, an MRI test, several x-rays, ultrasounds, and blood draws. All of these procedures were performed despite doctors assuring the mother that her son was healthy. So seemingly the doctors were able to recognize that the son was healthy, but seemingly they put him under these procedures in any case. I'm not going to pretend I know all the ins and outs of being a doctor, but I guess they're in a difficult position. I guess if they're being told one thing by the caregiver, that the boy is sickly, then I guess they do have to listen to that. They're not necessarily going to identify it as a case of Munchausen's by proxy. The court filing alleges that Maxwell insisted on the skin biopsy for her son after he was bitten by insects, while the bronchoscopy, a procedure involving an instrument being inserted into a patient's airways through the nose or mouth, was ordered because the child had a barking cough. Here's a quote, which is taken from the affidavit, I believe. "A biopsy is an invasive procedure which is completely unnecessary and put the boy at a risk of pain, scarring, infection, and bleeding. A bronchoscopy is a test that requires sedation and carries some risk, such as respiratory depression, bleeding, and possible perforation of airway. Both tests failed to show any abnormalities. This abusive behavior has impacted the child's development by limiting his activity, leading him to believe that he is ill when he is not, and causing him to miss school days unnecessarily." And so that's from the affidavit. The mother's son, the boy, and we're not told of the boy's name, the boy was taken away from the mother by the state in the fall of 2019. Since then, the child has been healthy, with no reports of illness. The boy's father is now in charge of all medical decisions. On December the 7th, a judge set Maxwell's bail at $20,000. As of Wednesday, she was not listed among the current inmates at the Cumberland County Jail. Munchausen's by proxy is a mental illness and a form of severe child abuse in which a caregiver invents or causes an illness or injury in their child. So that, as I say, is pretty much the full article. It tells us a little bit about another case of Munchausen by proxy, which, you can read through that yourself. But yeah, I mean, isn't it tragic? I mean, mental illness, is she really to blame? Is she really to blame if she is suffering from a genuine mental illness? I don't know. That's a bit of a quandary, isn't it? I mean, I wouldn't mind hearing your feedback. Is she to blame? Well, she committed the action, so I'm going to err on the side of yes overall. However, you would have to imagine that, given that there's a provable mental illness at play, then I suppose you've got to take that into account when doing the sentencing. So I don't know. It's a bit confusing for me, for my brain cells. The good thing is the boy has been taken away and is doing well. So thankfully, he's not going to suffer any more medical procedures, unnecessary medical procedures. I mean, I'm tempted to say let's hope she gets the help she needs, but I'm not really. I don't think that's appropriate. I think the focus ought to be on the boy, and thankfully it seems to be the case. So I think I'll wrap up the article at this point, and you have a great rest of your day.